Welcome back to the Tinkerage. It is the 20th episode of the Reorganisation vlog. Progress this week hasn't been great. Been a bit busy, been 4 videos out, tips, 1 project and 2 about first aid. So I didn't do much in the way of organisation during the week. I've been hard at it today. It's Saturday and I've done a few things. I started this morning by just pretty much emptying everything out that I could. And then I kind of reached a point where I'm just not sure where to go next. I was planning, and I still probably will, put up one of those tool wall extension doors that I did over the other side on here, and I got that measured up. But then I thought, well, maybe not quite yet. I'm not sure what I want to put on each particular wall. So that kind of went on hold. I have filled my time a little bit. I've started to empty a few things off here and put them into some of these. I've only put temporary labels on because I might change what those things are. Small little thing I did today, it's following on from tips video from this week. Right down here, 18 inches off the floor, I've put a shell dressing. So if I was working on the table saw in here, fell on the floor, I've got that to be able to grab just from the clip, just as easy as that. While I'm down here at this level, I did put an Instagram post up about some new timber that I picked up. Stack of oak. I've only put 2 or 3 pieces in here. Gentleman about a mile away is having a bit of a tidy up in his workshop, quite a big workshop. I spent a good hour there talking about tools, admiring his selection of tools, some really large woodworking tools, a 1909 metalworking lathe, which was previously belt, well, it still is belt driven, but it was probably being driven off a belt line, which he bought in Sheffield many years ago. So he was having a clear out of some of his sort of spare timber, some of it left over. He built his house, oak framed house, so some of it was left over from that. Also picked up a piece of mahogany, which I'm looking forward to finding some things to carve with that. And the best part was the price, £20, which I think is about $25 at the moment, for 16 pieces of wood altogether. Now, based on the last time I bought some oak, I paid £10 for a piece about 2.5 feet long, about 1.5 inches thick, and about 6 inches wide. Right, next, the big change that I have made at the moment. I've been trying to think about how I can make the bandsaw slide easier onto the bench. And so I've actually taken off, I've got these old inserts from worktops, kitchen worktops, that I salvaged from a skip. And rather than having one on each, I've moved the 2 of them over onto this side. Now that then puts not quite a level. There is a small little lip, but it does mean I can bring the bandsaw further across here without too much difficulty. Now on that, it's really got me thinking. One of the things that I might do is, rather than having these loose, I might attach them from underneath with some screws. I might tidy them up as well. There's a few little holes where they were originally drilled for the jigsaw. They're not perfectly straight and parallel either, so I might look at doing that. And then the thought that I had was to actually kind of face them up on here with a nice piece of timber, and then I have a record woodworking vise which I want to not restore. There's been a bit of discussion about whether you can restore anything, but certainly tidy up, clean up, and get it working a little bit more effectively and easily. And then I mount that in the middle, and that will give me facility then to mount an engineering vise, which I've got a small engineering vise. which can be mounted onto a block of wood and then locked into the woodworking vise when I want to use it. So that's me again. I'm going to just toy with that, but leave a little bit of gap at the back here. Kind of, I think that's Rubo bench style. I don't really know the names of these kind of woodworking benches, but I know some have that kind of groove in the middle, and that will create something where sort of tools can roll into. So that's looking like a strong possibility at the moment. Been kind of thinking about the nails, and what I did think was I inherited some of these nails that came in these rather nice Spax screw boxes, and I have a couple of those already with some screws in. So I'm thinking of making maybe a little rack, swapping these out for some other containers for the nails, and probably put them down in the shed, bottom of the garden, and using those instead of boxes, cardboard boxes, for screw storage, and maybe possibly making a little rack, 2x4. If I could find another one, I could do 3x3, but probably 2x4 or 4x2, and then maybe put that somewhere. Well, I have managed to put screws on there because I managed to clear my old chemistry set. That's now up in the corner in the blue box, and the cable clips, electrical cable clips, are now in one of those with some grommets, so that cleared some space. So I do have space for some screws there. It's not quite big enough for two of the green boxes on top of each other. So that's a bit of a shame, but I could potentially take that shelf off, rejig it so that it is, or find someone else for it. I've marked out my patio table with a series of tape. Each one of those represents one of the tool walls in the workshop. Well, it's one less than, because I didn't quite have enough space for the outside of the board here. So tomorrow I am hoping, but as long as it's fine, what I might do is try and get the tools out of this box, out of this box down here, and out of this drawer here, as well as the tools off the wall here, and think about how I want them laid out. Other little things of note, not quite related to reorganisation. One of the things that I've been thinking about, we're going to Maker Central. A number of people have said that they are making some Maker coins. Now I'd like to have a go at making some Maker coins. I've got plenty of this oak now, and I think that would be a lovely material to use. There's quite a few things that I need to do over the next 6 weeks before Maker Central. I don't want to spend every hour hand carving a pile of coins, and it will take, if I did it by hand, it'd take a long time. What I might do is use the bandsaw to cut out some coins, and then I'm thinking of making a brand, as in a branding iron. So I've got a couple of pieces of aluminium, might not be the best, high conductivity, low melting point, and I don't have much in the way of brass. I've got some old samples. These are 1.5 centimeters across by 1 centimeter deep. So I might go for something small, like a touch mark. Then I did find a couple of doorknobs. Now, these both feel like they're solid brass. It does feel a bit sacrilegious kind of doing it, but I'm thinking of maybe, cut this off, hacksaw, flatten it off with a flap disc, an angle grinder, and then engrave what I want into that. Or I've got a smaller one. Pretty sure they're both solid brass, so that would do nicely. And the advantage, of course, of these is that it would give me a little fixing point to go onto a handle. So that's a potential project for the next couple of weeks. Not Not something I've done before, but could be quite exciting to try. But I do need to get the Tinkerage in just a slightly better place first. I know that the organisation is not going to be done completely before Maker Central. I'm okay with that, but I do want to get it to a point where I can do some work. I want to get more project videos up, and I need space to do that. So I'm kind of hoping, I'd kind of hoped that by the end of this week that I would, but the first aid videos, something I thought I really needed to do, that took a bit of place. So hopefully another week, 2 weeks. I think I might just set myself a limit of by the end of the next week, I want to have things in here where I can work on projects even if things aren't quite yet finished. I know that making some of the holders for some of the tools, it's going to take a bit of time. I do have some holders left over from kind of previous incarnations. This is one got cut down from something else, the longer piece, and I decided I wanted just this end on. So it might do for now. I know I want to extend my screwdriver storage, so that needs a whole new kind of jig. I might be able to reuse the side pieces, but we shall see. No, thank you for watching today. If you are new, this is the first time you've seen this, do maybe have a look back through some of the old ones. There is a playlist, and see the progress that I've made. And do hit the notification button so you get told when the next one comes up as well. Of course, that helps if you hit subscribe. If you know people who might like this, please do share it. Bye for now.